Hello everyone. How are we today? Good morning, evening, or night, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me in this little corner of the internet. My name is Jaya. It's a pleasure to see everyone. And today we're doing one of my favorite videos of all time. We're doing a book of the month unboxing video and a little bit of life catch up. That's what we're doing. This is Miss Taco. Say hello, Miss Taco. Say hello, Baba. She is my precious little baby. She's my sweetest little baby girl. We also have another cat. Her name is Bella. She's perfect for the October season in our house, a living, walking decoration piece because she's a gorgeous black cat. We love them both to death. They are our babies. This is my little cuddle bug though, and the other one's not so cuddly. No, she's not. She's very friendly. She likes to say hi to everybody, but she's not cuddle. She's not a cuddle bug. No, she's Taco. Yes, say hello. So Miss Taco is ready to leave, so we'll let her go. Or not. There she goes. This came in the mail. I'm so excited. So, for those who don't know, I do a book of the month video every month. Am I sponsored by them? No. Do they even know who I am? Probably not. But love this service because basically they look at all the new releases that are coming out in a month and they basically curate a collection of their best choices, which is tested by a very select team. And then they put these books on their website for you to select from. It's a great way to discover new writers. It's a great way to discover the new books that are coming out for the year. And it is at a nominal price for hardbacks. Typically, if you were to go to Barnes & Nobles or you were to go to any other, storefront to buy a hardback book, whether it be Target, Walmart, whatever it may be, Costco, you definitely find discounts. Even on Amazon, you're going to find discounts. But these are brand new hardback books that are bound the same, look beautiful on your shelf if you're an aesthetic reading girly or man. And gentlewomen and gentlemen, if you like to read. It just looks stunning on your shelf. At some point, I will give you guys a tour of just the Book of the Month shelves, which lives in the bedroom with me. I have a very unhealthy relationship with my books in the sense that I feel depressed. I feel anxiety if I can't visually see my books, if I can't see them on the shelves, if I can't see them in the bedroom. Like, they are my children. I am a designer girly, right? Girl likes her designers. I like my handbags. I like my shoes. I'm that girly, and I can sleep without seeing my handbags, but I need to see my books. That's how much I freaking love my books. So that being said, I love the fact that the Book of the Month books look beautiful when they're living on a shelf together. All of the spines match. I mean, it's just stunning. And the best part is, if you get a box, it comes out to $9.99. $9.99 for a hardback book. And then any additional books that you order is like an additional 10 to 15 bucks. I can't remember the exact price. I will list it in the box below. But just love them. Love the fact that there's this curated collection. Now, let's say the Book of the Month has 5 to 7 selections that you can pick from for that month and none of them speak to you. Well, don't worry. You can go check out their other selections. They have Spotlight, which is basically a set of books that they think they want to add more spotlight to or more awareness of, whether it's because it's the prequel to a sequel that came out that month that happens to be one of the choices, or whether it's like a famous author that's releasing a book that didn't quite make the cut to be a part of the monthly selection, but still Book of the Month was like, this book should be talked about. That's your Spotlight collection. Then underneath that, you also have another option, which basically says that these are new releases, which again, didn't quite make it to the monthly picks, but are still celebrated authors or authors that they have had on their website before that have released new books that you can look into. Then you can also go back and look at old monthly selections. They also do a yearly award where they basically do a Book of the Month trophy. You get to vote on these and they basically select one book of the year. Now, the best part about that is if you go back and you look at Book of the Year selection and you look at monthly favorites, they will literally show you what the fan favorite books have been for that year. And if you decide that you do want to subscribe with them and you've been with them long enough, or you collect enough quote unquote credits, you become a friend. And once you become a Book of the Month friend, you get one free book on your birthday every year. And you also get to pick your nominated selection for the yearly award that you would like sent to your home. And then I believe you also get the yearly winner. So it's like 3 books for free, basically. It's great. It's wonderful. I have no complaints. Every box also comes with a little bookmark that has a quote on it. These are usually voted on by the Book of the Month team, and they basically send that bookmark with their selection of books, which is great. So you always have a new bookmark to use as well. If you're a collector like me, I like to collect everything. I'm a big collections girl. If you're more of like a minimalist type of vibe, well, you can use that bookmark for the month, throw it away, and wait on the next one to come in. However you want to do it is completely up to you. The other nice thing is about all of their packaging being recyclable. It is, it's earth friendly, biodegradable type of material. So that's great too. You can also repurpose these boxes if you want to. In general, you can select up to 5 books for your Book of the Month per box, which can then be shipped out to you. This particular month, there were a lot of great selections, and let me show you what they were now. So here we have our Book of the Month selection. So for November, they had quite a few different options this year. The fantasy selection for this month happens to be The Road of Bones, which is also a debut novel written by Demi Winters. This book is basically grab your cape and hop on the Viking mercenary wagon. We're hitting the creature-infested, killer-filled Road of Bones. So it is a fantasy. You are going on a journey. So I'm excited that this one sounds like a lot of fun. Dirty Diana is a book that was written by 2 different authors. So you have Jen Besser and Shauna Festi. And it's basically a provocative look at desire, art, and unfulfilled fantasy through the lens of one woman's waning marriage. So it's about a woman who is trapped in a marriage where the passion, the romance is not there at the level that it used to be. And it basically has her looking at other women's relationships through their perspectives when she talks to clients and things like that, and rediscovering that passion and understanding whether or not it is needed for a marriage. This also sounded quite fascinating and interesting to me. Not quite my taste, but again, if you're a literary fiction girly or a literary fiction gentleman, then this is a perfect option for you. We also had a memoir here. Now, I grew up loving One Tree Hill. And this is the story of Bethany Joy Lenz, who played Haley in the One Tree Hills series. She was there from start to finish. She's one of the main characters, and I absolutely loved her character. And this is a behind the scenes of her story when she accidentally joined a cult and how she survived through it, how she got out of it, how she grew from it. And I'm just really excited to see what it has to offer. This is probably, I'm sorry, I'm shaking this camera a lot. I apologize, guys. This is probably one of my most exciting books that I saw on the selection. So this is definitely one that I picked up. And then we have our romance for the, sorry, I'll call her back. We have the romance selection for this month, which is P.S. I Hate You. It's an early release, and it's basically about a woman who goes on a road trip with her brother's her brother's best friend after he passes away. And they basically have to figure out if they can get along after a relationship between them turns sour. So again, sounds like it could be a lot of fun. This particular book reminds me a lot of P.S. I Love You. So if you're into that, then I think this could fit those vibes. Then we have The Teller of Small Fortunes, which is, again, a fantasy. In this magical story, a group of lovable misfits look for their place in the world and discover it with each other. So this sounds like it could be a lot of fun as well. So those are the selections for November. And as promised, if you don't like those, you can go back to the main selection here, and you can go up here to all books. And if you click on all books, now you see what I'm talking about. So you have spotlight titles here, which is basically a bunch of different options of books that the team basically decided sounded amazing, and that they did need a shout out. So these are not books that are this month's selections, but are selections from the past. And they usually are because they are prequels or sequels to books that have been selections recently. And then if you go to all books again, and you scroll down, then you have your new and recent add-ons. So if you view all of these, You have other new selections that are available, and in these book selections, you see books that didn't quite make it the cut for the November selections, but are books that sound interesting and enjoyable and can still make it to your bookshelf. After that, as you scroll down, you can see that you have the November selections. You can also select to view all months if you wanted to. You have last month's selections, members most loved. This is what I was talking about, where people vote on the selections and you can decide which one you want. And you can see here the books that won or were nominated based on the lovely Book of the Year symbol that they have on the book. And then you have your debut authors. So these are new authors that are released books that you may not have heard of before. And it's an opportunity to find new authors that you may grow to love and enjoy. One other option here is if you don't want to get a physical book, they also now do audiobooks. So you can also select to get an audiobook with your credit as well, if that is your preferred way of enjoying a book. So that's also a really cool, fun way to enjoy books if you're interested in trying out the service, but you don't necessarily want a physical book to be sent to you. This is usually either a month behind, or like maybe one of the books from that month is going to be listed here, because obviously it takes a little bit longer for audiobooks to get created, but they usually do a good job of making sure that books that they have put on the Book of the Month selections also show up here as well. So now that you got a chance to see what was available on the November selections as well as the Book of the Month website, let's go ahead and unpack this little bad boy and go through the books that yours truly selected. Hopefully this is inspiring and enjoyable for you guys. I try to do this video once a month because I truly love this service. I'm obsessed with Book of the Month. I think what they're doing is so cool, and this is honestly one of the coolest packages that I get delivered to my door every day. So, or not every day, but every month. And so I was like, I need to share this with the internet. And I feel like if you're not interested in subscribing, at least this way you get a chance to see all the different options. So first up, we do have the book that I had mentioned that I really wanted to read. This is Dinner for Vampires, and it is the memoir told by Bethany Joy Lenz about how she got out of the cult story that she was living, and basically about how she was able to protect herself, get out, and finally get control of her finances, which for the longest time was not something she had control over. I think for someone who has been in the public eye for so long, and this was an unknown factor for many of the fans, I think this will be really interesting to read, and it will give us an opportunity to get a glimpse into her life. So I'm really, really excited for that one. The next one I have here is the fantasy. So we have Road of Bones. This is the fantasy that they released in the Ashen series. It's the first book. This cover is so pretty. It's a glossy finish, which is really cool. It is on the longer side. I believe this book is over 400 pages. To me, that's like pretty normal. I am currently reading a book that's 1,016 pages. So I love like long books. I don't mind it. But if you are someone who prefers the shorter books, this may not be the right book for you. This one is 539 pages for those who wanted to know. And it is the first of a new series. Then I got this book. This book is also fantasy. It was one of the books that was listed in the additional selections options. This is the first book in a duology as well. This is written by Mary E. Pearson, and it's called The Courting of Bristol Keats. I can read the inside cover for you guys on this one. After losing both their parents, Bristol Keats and her sisters struggle to stay afloat in their small, quiet town of Bowes Keep. When Bristol begins to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises she can help, she reluctantly agrees to meet and discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. Her father might even still be alive, not killed, but kidnapped by terrifying creatures and taken to a whole other realm, the one he's from. Desperate to save her father and find the truth, Bristol journeys to a land of gods and fae and monsters. Pulled into a dangerous world of magic and intrigue, she makes a deadly bargain with the fae leader, Tygan. But what she doesn't know is that he's the one who drove her parents to live a life on the run, and he is just as determined as she is to find her father, dead or alive. So I think this should be a really fun read as well. I'm super, super excited to see where this fantasy takes me. I'm a big fantasy girly. I love my fantasies. I love my romantasies. So I love learning about new worlds, and I love how different authors' brains work, and I just love to see the worlds that they're creating. So I'm super, super excited and pumped to read this as well. Next up, the last book that I selected for this month is an older book. So this is a Kristen Hanna release. I am recently collecting Kristen Hanna books because I would like to do a Kristen Hanna deep dive video and go through like some of her major publications, including the Nightingale, The Women, Four Winds, this one, which is The Great Alone, which I'm excited to read as well. But from what I've heard of Firefly Lane, or I think that's what it's called, Kristen Hanna has been a very celebrated author for a very, very long time. I've never really given her the time of day. I tried reading Four Winds in February, like 3 years ago, and I just was not in the right headspace for that book. I was really, really struggling with it. I got about 100 pages in, and then I DNF'd that book. So I really want to give her a shot because I've heard wonderful, wonderful things about her from a lot of other YouTubers, as well as reviews on the internet about her books. And obviously there's something about her if she keeps showing up on the Book of the Month selections, because Book of the Month wouldn't just put authors on there that suck. Like, they're just not that type. And usually every time I've given a Book of the Month a chance, I've truly enjoyed it, except for maybe a couple of thrillers. And that wasn't so much because the book was bad as much as it was that there were trigger warning topics for me that I did not enjoy. So I really do want to give Kristen Hanna a chance. And so this is the last one that I saw on their website for Kristen Hanna that I didn't have. And it is The Great Alone. So I am excited to read this. This one is inside saying, Alaska, 1974. Unpredictable, unforgiving, untamed for a family in crisis, the ultimate test of survival. Ernst Albright, a former POW, comes home from the Vietnam War a changed and volatile man. When he loses yet another job, he makes an impulsive decision. He will move his family north to Alaska, where they will live off the grid in America's last true frontier. 13-year-old Lenny, a girl coming of age in a tumultuous time, caught in the riptide of her parents' passionate, stormy relationship, dares to hope that a new land will lead to a better future for her family. She is desperate for a place to belong. Her mother, Cora, will do anything and go anywhere for the man she loves, even if it means following him into the unknown. At first, Alaska seems to be the answer to their prayers. In a wild, remote corner of the state, they find a fiercely independent community of strong men and even stronger women. The long, sunlit days and the generosity of the locals make up for the Albrights' lack of preparation and dwindling resources. But as winter approaches and darkness descends on Alaska, Ernst's fragile mental state deteriorates and the family begins to fracture. Soon the perils outside pale in comparison to the threats from within. In their small cabin, covered in snow, blanketed in 18 hours of night, Lenny and her mother learn the terrible truth. They are on their own, in the wild. There is no one to save them but themselves. So it's really, truly a story about family that's going through the tragedy of dealing with PTSD and moving somewhere new and trying to be there for someone that they love who isn't who they have been in the past. Like, they're suffering. And I think this book is going to be very overwhelming. I think this book is going to be very emotional. I think this book is going to be beautiful. And this is what I've heard about Kristen Hanna's books, is that they're very powerful. They're very emotional. They're slow build, but they're very, very good as you get further into the book. And they've changed people. Like, a lot of people will say that her books are like 5-star books for them. So we're going to give it a shot. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it goes. And that brings me to the conclusion of this unboxing video. So this is for the Book of the Month books for this month so far. So super, super pumped to enjoy these and share my reviews with you as I get through these books. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Did any of these inspire you? They definitely inspired me. Please leave a comment below if you liked any of my selections or if you would have chosen something differently. I would have loved to know what you guys would have selected as well. That being said, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sitting here and watching this video with me. If you enjoyed it, definitely give it a thumbs up. And then if you enjoyed the video overall and you love bookish content and you would ever consider coming back to visit this little corner of the internet, definitely consider hitting that subscription button and that notification bell if you haven't done so already. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for being here. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. This is my passion project. This is my pet project. I love books. I love reading. Like, last month, I read 25 books. That's insane. Even for me, that's insanity. But yes, I read 25 books. And so this is my pride, this is my love, this is my joy. I love the books on my shelves. I actually read the books on my shelves. I love the aesthetic of books. I love the feeling of getting wrapped up in a nice, cozy, warm story, you know? And to be able to share that with other people who share that passion, who enjoy books as much as I do, it's truly a pleasure and it's an honor. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. And I look forward to continuing to grow this bookish community with you. I know I had mentioned earlier that I'm reading a 1,008-page book. So for anyone who's interested, I recently started the journey into the Zodiac Academy series. This world is insane. It's 23 books, now 24, because the 24th book in the next series just released. So far 3 series completed, 4th series has just started, but it's written by 2 women, Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, and I swear, I don't know how their brain works, but it's incredible to see what they have completed, what they have created with these worlds and these books that they've written. If you're interested in Zodiac Academy, if you want ideas on how I have been enjoying it, my experience with it, I have read 10 books in the world so far. That is actually in the October reading wrap up. And then I also released a separate video that is basically specific to the Ruthless Boys series, which is the prequel series to Zodiac Academy. And now I'm working my way through Zodiac Academy. So I finally made it to book 7. Now, in order to get to book 7, you have to read books 1, 2, 3. You have to read the Ruthless Boys series, which is 5 books. Then you have to read Origins of an Academy Bully, which is a little novella. Then after you finish that, you get through book 5, and then you're going back and you're reading another novella called The Big ASS Party. Yes, I realize what ASS spells, but it's supposed to be ASS. You'll know if you know. And then after that, you're supposed to read the first book, The Awakening, as told by the boys. And that was very, very entertaining to get their perspective. And I actually really enjoyed it because up and through the initial first read of that first book, I hated all the boys in this book. And it's a bully romance series. So it was really hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that these girls fall for the men that they fall for. But seeing how they felt, seeing their thought processes, seeing how they experienced the events that were happening was actually a lot of fun. And you definitely see growth in the characters throughout the series. So that's been very enjoyable. And now book 7 is supposed to be the big steamy book. It's supposed to be the book where all the romance happens. It's supposed to be the book where we have resolution of a lot of hardships that have happened getting up to this point. Book 8 is kind of the resolution of the threats that are happening. And then book 9 is the actual crowning and the beginning of the new kingdom. And so I am so excited to read those books. I still have 2 novellas that I need to complete as well. So 8.5 as well as Live and Let Lionel, which I'm supposed to read the rest of that at the end of the Zodiac series. So I will hopefully be wrapping those up this month. I will definitely give you guys a Zodiac Academy full wrap up when I finish the series. But yeah, that's what we're reading right now. And also, this is massive. This thing is like, it's the size of my head, guys. So since this thing is so massive, thank God for the Kindle because it is available on Kindle Unlimited. And that's where I've been reading it because it's easier to throw this in a purse than this. But that being said, I like to go back and forth between the physical reading and this. I'm also listening to it on Audible whenever I'm driving around and doing things like that. So it's been a great way to consume the series. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about Book of the Month. So once again, thank you so much for watching. And if I inspire you to go check out Book of the Month, definitely do. I hope to see you guys back. I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday and would love to see you back in this little corner of the internet. Until next time, love all of you. Bye.